now that everything is back in, the tank is installed, the sending units on there, let's get this bed on this 94 Ford Ranger. Okay. Get this bed on, we're going to go ahead and get this thing jacked up, get our jack stands out. Okay, there's one. Number 2. And let's lower him on down. Okay guys, this is an overview of everything that's in place right before we put the bed on. One thing you want to make sure of, these clips, these spring nut clips here, you want to make sure you clean those up. They're all clean, they got penetrating oil in there. One thing you want to make sure of, something that I waited until the last minute to check, see how these here will actually stay on in place. There's a little piece up here on the top that's that inserts down in the hole to keep it in place. Okay, so you want to make sure those will stay in place. All of them are good. I came around, I found that one of them, okay, this one right here actually had rusted away. And of course the ideal thing is to get another spring nut, but with the time constraints here, what I did is, if you can look, I just took a washer and I just stuck under there, just kind of wedge this thing to kind of hold it in place, and then, you know, make sure the bolt will actually screw down in there. So hopefully we'll get the bed up here, it's not going to sit there and move this off, and if it does, then we won't be able to get this bolt in. So anyway, one other last thing is, get this here filler neck hose out of the way. I just took it and threw a little bit of duct tape on there, just so we can get the bed on here, so it's tucked out of the way there. Okay, so everything looks good there. So next shot, guys, we'll have the bed on, and then we'll start putting the tail light harness assembly on. Okay. Now, why did the factory service manual want us to disconnect all this and, you know, take this out? I do not know. So here's the tip for you. You don't even have to take any of this out, this wiring harness. All you have to do is come right here and just unplug this connector. Okay. Unplug this connector and forget about taking any of this out. Just leave it intact. So when you take this out, the wiring harness and everything will stay intact. So you don't have to take off the tail light reflectors or anything. Just leave it intact. So anyway, live and learn, right? So that'd be a tip for you guys. You don't have to take this out. I don't know why, like I said, I don't know why the manual wanted us to take it out, but not seeing how everything was the first time around, once you get everything apart, you'll see exactly then at that point how this thing will work. Alright guys, right now we got all the bolts in. We got anti-seize on there, and of course we cleaned the threads up. I had to take a die and run over the threads on these things because they were so rusted. If you're interested, these are M12 bolts. They got a pitch of 1.75. Okay, so right now we're just kind of snugging them on down a little bit. So far, this little project was actually fairly painless. It wasn't that big a deal though. Alright guys, the torque setting on these here bed bolts are from 40 to 70 foot-pounds. We're going to take it in the middle. We're going to put it at 55 foot-pounds. And we'll give you a shot of one more here. Alright, good going. Okay guys, once now we're putting the filler neck hose, making the connections there. If you remember, these are 7mm head bolts. Just snug them up. Okay guys, we have the bed back on. Everything is all done. Hey guys, that wasn't too bad a project. We got the bed back on, as you can see, and just want to make a mention about this here tail light wiring harness assembly. I did mention it right up in front in the video. The parts that it's not unnecessary to see that, so I just took that part out. However, I did, if you go back to removing the bed, I did keep that in there. You know, just as a referral, somebody might want to see about the tail light assemblies, although it has nothing to do with removing the bed, as I found out later. Now, I do have notes. I went back into the removing the bed. Now, if you're going to remove the bed, I've got notes in there throughout that whole procedure of removing that harness that is not necessary. The only thing you have to do is remove the connector for the, the tail light wiring harness assembly. So this was actually a pretty easy project, Actually, when you get down to this bed, it's only 6 bolts, 3 for the filler, 6 for the bed, and then of course the harness connector, and this bed comes right off. Pretty simple. It was a pretty fun project. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you picked up some things there. Maybe make it easier for troubleshooting your vehicles or something similar. Maybe a similar wiring diagram. Also, I'd like to hear some of you guys projects that you're working on. Shoot me make a comment there. Tell me what you're working on. I'll go over there and look at it, see what you guys are doing. I'll give you my comments. This is going to conclude this here video series. This is the end of it, so we'll just have to wait for the next thing to break down, and if something breaks down, then we'll start looking at it. I think we have got a 2001 Volkswagen Jetta, so we got a check engine light, so there may be a little troubleshooting. We can look at that and see what's going on. So we're going to play that one by ear, and we'll see how it goes. Hey, I appreciate all of you guys watching. It's really, what I'd like to hear from you guys. I'd like to hear some comments. I'd like to hear what you got to say, what your thoughts are. Hey, by all means, I am no expert. And so I'd like to hear some of you other guys' opinions, see what you think. And if you like what you saw, let me know. If you don't, let me know that too. So, so you guys take care. And this is going to be the end and concluding this here video series, and looking forward to hearing from you guys. You guys take care.